So let's talk about this infamous mod from Vandar that has been circulating around the Ghost Recon PC community. I see a lot of people hoping the Ghost Recon Spartan Realism mod will be implemented somehow by Ubisoft Paris. For those of you who are unaware of what this mod does, the mod allows enemies to spot you from farther distances. Enemies will hear unsuppressed gunfire at its max distance in-game, and suppressed gunfire from farther distances for each weapon, which is farther away from what the vanilla game allows. You also have the ability to tweak your ammo count, and all of these parameters are changeable. But if you play around with this mod enough and recognize how enemy AI functions by engaging and responding to the player, you would realize that the game is programmed with the set parameters it has now, so it doesn't look or feel broken. Let me explain. The mod somewhat breaks the game to how Ubisoft has designed it. Due to enemy engagement distance restrictions, which is capped at 135 meters for assault archetypes. This means, once engaged, enemies will no longer be able to shoot at the player if the player passes the 135 meter mark. Outside of that range in the vanilla game, the only thing players need to worry about are snipers. A big problem is that enemies can see you through all types of vegetation and foliage in the game, which is only exacerbated by the mod, especially at far distances, now that they can see you from those distances, and this is something the mod can't fix. If you're prone in the grass at under 60 meters, it doesn't feel as broken to be seen by the enemy than if you're prone in the grass at 275 meters and the enemy all of a sudden sees you and engages. The AI in the game is just not up to par with what is expected, especially when utilizing the mod. You see, every meter of distance is important when it comes to how Ubisoft Paris designed the game, and they created it with the intention of you being closer to enemies than farther. From everything to stealth and firefights, Ubisoft Paris did not design this game with the intention of players being able to actually engage enemies from far distances and have these types of mid to long range firefights with the enemy AI. Due to the fact that the game is designed around these up-close specific distances, it is my belief that Ubisoft will never update the game with these mod-like parameters, because it will only highlight to the majority of the people how badly the AI truly is, and we all realize from playing the game from the past 2 years that it is designed for roughly engaging enemies at 100 meters or closer, outside of sniping that is. Anything beyond that, and going past 135 meters, is basically sniping territory for enemy AI. With the game designed around these distances, it's no wonder Ubisoft has turned Ghost Recon into a CQC stealth game regardless of the open world they've created. However, the mod also breaks the Sam Fisher CQC stealth gameplay. All weapon types have had their suppressed gunfire sound extend farther out, allowing enemies to hear your shots at these farther distances. For players who want to utilize any weapon other than an SMG and pistol inside of compounds which have the lowest suppressed sound, quickly realize that with the mod, this becomes cumbersome. We should all recognize that the franchise has become this Ghost Recon Splinter Cell hybrid, and the majority of people are now trained to play the game with this stealth infiltration, CQC stealth animation type of gameplay. Being spotted and getting into intense firefights is the opposite of how the game is truly designed, and having suppressed gunfire now be heard by enemies goes completely against Ubisoft design philosophy and is counter to how the audience has been trained within their expectations when performing these actions. The specifics of quote unquote "enemies won't hear this shot" is ingrained in the community at this point, so I wouldn't expect Ubisoft to change their core gameplay fundamentals due to a mod that is designed for a select few hardcore PC players who are utilizing it to turn Ghost Recon into the tactical shooter they feel it's meant to be. Moving forward, Ubisoft now has a huge dilemma with their core audience, and this mod really showcases what it is. Ghost Recon fans want to play a tactical shooter. They want the game to feel real, to be difficult, and for our decisions to have consequences. Ubisoft's core gameplay is the antithesis of this mod, which is why people should not get their hopes up that they will see this mod be implemented within the game and for consoles. Hopefully, with the release of the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, Ubisoft Paris will have more capable hardware to promote more interesting gameplay in future installments of the franchise. That is, if their design philosophy is dictated by hardware limitations within this open world game. So, Ghosts, what are your thoughts on the Spartan Realism mod? Is this the direction Ubisoft should take Ghost Recon, focusing on deadlier AI that results in more firefights and less CQC stealth? To the PC players out there who haven't tried the mod, what's stopping you? Let me know in the comments below and we'll discuss some things like always. Alright Ghosts, that's all for now. Everyone have a great day and I will see you all in the next video. Alright guys, peace.